And we're live.
Oh, we're live.
And we're live for episode 10 of Slap Happy.
Featuring Nick actually speaking to the mic this time.
Slap Happy. We're here. This is episode 10. So this is kind of exciting. Nick's promised to speak into the mic this time.
I promise.
Promise, yeah. And yeah, so we've got episode 10. Fuck, 10 already. Jesus. That's going really quick.
It's gone pretty quick.
Yeah.
10 weeks of madness.
Yeah, 10 weeks of madness. I think we cracked 500 downloads on the podcast. I think I'm up to like 600 or something at the moment, which is kind of cool.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, pretty solid. So we shot one the other day, which was an interesting piece of work, but
Not my finest work.
Not our finest work, but we've got a lot of really positive feedback so far. And I think people liked the fact that we were not that great.
Yeah, it was pretty authentic and raw. And
yeah. Like
garbage.
we didn't cover anything up. So I think people liked the fact that it was average in parts. So
yeah.
Look, I think we'll just continue on with that theme and we'll present something
Hopefully
half decent.
Slightly better.
So yeah, we're going to do, we decided to do a Q&A today. Yesterday was just, the other time, episode 9 was just a general chat.
Yeah.
And then we kind of decided to do a Q&A today. And we've put the feelers out to the Twitter community.
Yeah.
And
got a few questions.
We've got a few questions and we've got them on this big ass TV. Nick has a fucking, what is this? Is this, I've got to measure this in meters, right?
No. It's mouse TV.
This is the mouse TV. I've got the Lion TV sitting in my place. But
the Sonic.
Yeah. The hedgehog.
No, SONIQ.
Why?
It's never mind.
Is that a big one?
Never mind.
Is that a joke? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's
Sonic
not a
the
joke if
Hedgehog.
I have to explain it.
No, fair enough. So yeah, we've got a few questions. They're up on the TV here. What we're going to do, we're going to read them, and then we're just going to chat about them.
Cool.
Fuck, let's get into it. Okay, so first one is from my boy Juan, the number one guy. No.
And his question is, where are the prints?
Yeah, where are the prints? Yeah. We got you, Juan. Don't worry. Juan _ Carrillo97 says, "Hey boys, one question from me. When Nick talked about stepping away from his match scalp approach and beginning to sink his teeth into longer holds / different trades, how did he begin going about it? Small size and trial and error on new setups and how that he started looking for?"
Yeah, so I guess it's just a natural evolution, right? Because the match is only going on for 10 minutes and you can either do the match and then walk away and twiddle your thumbs, or naturally you're just going to find
something
other
else.
shit.
Yeah.
And just spending time in front of the screen, you're naturally going to recognize patterns and that sort of stuff. So that's how I did it. And I would start smaller. So obviously based on the quality of the setup. So like matches, I'd be my biggest because that was bread and butter.
Yep.
And then, with this other longer term stuff, you start small until you get a bit of confidence and which setup is which kind of thing.
So this is actually an interesting question to start because someone hit me up, Santo, I think, asked me just in terms of, because we spoke about on the other one how you, we both feel, especially you feel, that this year you've leveled up, like you've gone to that next level in terms of your skill set and just your setups and just kind of like your ability to, I don't know, just commit to the trade a little bit longer term. And he was kind of asking like, what do you think that is? Do you think that was the volatility this year or blah, blah, blah? So I think this kind of feeds into that.
Say blah, blah, blah? Yeah,
he said blah, blah, blah. And I actually said to Santo, no, it was probably blah, blah, blah. That's the reason.
Okay. Okay.
Catalyst for his change.
Yeah, nice.
It was kind of feeding into this idea, like changing from that, that scalpy match trading ideology, I guess, into this kind of longer term, wait for it. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Do you think that come off the back of purely the volatility? What?
No.
Yeah. Do you think that was purely the volatility this year? Or like what made you start to think like I need to start to aim for these longer term stuff that's going to have the home runs in them?
I don't know. I think because there was just so much activity, and you could just be a pure tape junkie if you just focused on, one or two stocks that were moving. And yeah, like I said the other day, just become an expert at the tape.
At one stock in one day.
One stock, yeah. And then, if you're giving all of your focus, then you can get bigger. And yeah, you don't need to be like trying to do 5 things at once sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And okay, so unprecedented volatility slash...
that's definitely had a thing to do with it. There was way more liquidity as well. So you could get bigger.
Yeah.
So yeah, potential for
bigger moves. Yeah, cool. And do you think that is why do you think that I guess didn't happen like last year or you said
why I didn't evolve until
because you said the other day you felt like that evolution kind of stagnated for a while, right? Like you felt like you didn't really take that next step as quick as you had taken those first couple of steps.
Right. It was probably just like I said the other day, because I was so focused on like shorting stuff and fading, and I was just like, they're not the right spots to be big. Yeah. You're better off being big when you're with the Momo.
Yeah. I think that's actually
the easier trade.
I think that's what I said to him. I think it was the volatility and also not fighting flow.
And blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, as these are the things, if you want to be a successful trader, you go da, 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 and then blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Da, 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 and then blah, blah,
That's
blah.
actually the whole secret to it.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
So guys, write that down. Spell B-L-A-H. B-L-A-H.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it 2 H's or just?
No, it's 2. Yeah, the third one is 2 H's.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's question 1 from Juan. It's I think we covered it. Small size, trial and error on new setups. Yeah. So pretty much that. Yep. Beautiful. Okay, let's move along. So Chris has said, looking back at match trading, do you think it's harder, easier, or the same now to make these trades? Do you have any advice for match traders that are consistently profitable with this trade but want to excel further? Can I jump on that one?
Yeah, go for it. It's your podcast.
Yeah, I'll jump on that one. So I would say that it is slightly harder to find real juicy stuff.
Yeah.
Like I remember when we were talking about this the other night, like 12 months ago, 18 months ago, you'd find the DDRs, the 88s, the EOSs, the EMLs that just have like some little, upgrade or profit guidance or something like that. And they would only gap up in the last 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And if you were...
Just a mad rush.
Rush for the last 15 seconds, right? If you were quick enough, you'd front run it, you'd get your fill, and then someone would step up almost immediately, just bang, and then you're out. You make a quick like 10 or 15 ticks. That stuff was happening fairly frequently. You get them always at 11 a.m., midday, something like that, right?
Right, yeah, the midday news.
Yeah, midday news. Yeah. And they were like pretty easy to read. But I feel like definitely in the last maybe 6 months or so, there are people rushing the match earlier. So it's not really a rush. It's kind of
showing their hand.
Yeah, people show their hand way earlier, which means the thing gets jammed to a level that's kind of too high for it to then, make a meaningful move. Yeah, it gets filled in pretty quickly, or it just chops for a while, which forces everyone out.
Yeah.
Then the real money starts to come in.
Yeah.
So I think CDA was a pretty good example yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was like, you could easily have been shaken out of that pretty early.
Right.
And then, I think stuff like DDR recently has been, it's kind of gapped up so hard that, it's just kind of stagnated and then, either faded or...
Yeah, so I think part of the reason it's got more difficult is because stocks are now like slightly higher denomination.
Yeah.
They're going up.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to play the book in like a lower denomination
like a $4
stock,
or $5
like a 40-cent to $3 stock.
Yeah.
Whereas now I feel like so many stocks have converted into stonks.
Yeah.
And now they're like $10 sort of thing, and it just makes it a bit harder.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Less of a book to lean on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I think DDR was, I think at the time, 12 months ago, it was like, what, $2 or $3 or something like that.
Now you could easily 10 or something.
Yeah.
8 or 9.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Yeah, so I would say that it definitely has become harder. I definitely don't think that the edge is gone if you're good enough. And the thing that I would say if you're consistently profitable on smaller size and you want to excel, I think it is all about
just add more size.
Just get bigger. Yeah. I think that's
you basically, and this is what I did. You just keep sizing up. Don't think about it. Just keep sizing up until it breaks.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, okay.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. Yeah.
Back it off.
Reset.
Yeah. And then stay there.
Because it's like, once you figure out the edge, once you figured out how to do it, you can take one bad beat, but at least that's where I need to get to, or that's where that's my inflection point.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of work your way back up to there. And then when you do it again, maybe you've figured out how to, better manage your trade, better manage the risk.
I think, so the way I did when I first started was like, okay, I would be like, say for example, match trade, surplus bid, say it's surplus bid for 100,000 shares.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, okay, let's push the size from, being 20% of how much the surplus bid is. So in that case, I'd take 20,000 shares.
Yep.
And then just slowly like up it.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to be 50% of the surplus bid.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be 50,000 shares.
Yeah.
And then you just keep pushing.
Yeah.
And then eventually I'm like, 100 to 150%.
Now I'm all the volume.
Yeah.
Now there's no one else in this.
Yeah. Well, no, you just got to try and like push it.
Yeah.
In that fashion.
Yeah.
And then, okay, I may not be able to get out. Like I can scratch some.
Yep.
And then the rest, I can tip out a bit lower, but at least when it works, you're going to get some upside on bigger size.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, beautiful. All right, let's scroll down here to some more questions.
Hey, just chatting to the mic.
Sorry, bro. Sorry. No, you're 100% right. So Biggie Smalls cap. Biggie Small Caps. Fucking love that name. Biggie Small Caps says, what's something you wish you knew earlier?
You go first.
All right, what's something I wish I knew earlier?
I can go first. I wish that I didn't have an opinion.
Yeah, right.
Like when I first started, no opinion. Just roughly skim announcement and trade.
Yeah.
Then like I think I mentioned the other day, like for 2 or 3 years, I just had an opinion and tried to be smart.
Yeah.
And I just wish I'd sort of stopped that and also like just be long more because it's true though. Like
they're only going up, baby.
Yeah. It's like I said, swimming against a rip.
Yeah.
So that would be my answer.
Yeah. Maybe do you think it's like have a long bias unless there is a reason to short it? Because I think when something's ambiguous, you could easily go, oh no, this is gonna get fucking tanked.
Right.
But I think like if you lean on the side of, I mean, I guess if you're thinking like that, it's probably not a trade. Like if it's
I mean, for me, it's just like, okay, stop fading stuff as much.
Yeah, just for no reason.
Yeah. Or fade only in very specific circumstances, not just because it's up too
something's
much,
a bit.
example.
Yeah, up
just
a bit.
because I don't agree with it. Yeah.
You shouldn't be here. Get down. What's something I wish I knew earlier? It's not something that I wish I knew earlier because it's stuff that I got told, but it's just something that I wish I had adhered to a little earlier. And that's just to be in the stuff that's in play
more often.
Yeah. Like I knew it because obviously it's something that you told me earlier, like right from the beginning, is to just be in the stuff in play and just like learn how to read tape.
Yeah.
But it's something that took time to really sink in.
Yeah.
And it's, I guess, everyone gets there in their own way. I just wish I had actively taken that advice on.
Yeah.
And it's not like I was trying to ignore it. It's hard to feel comfortable sometimes when stuff's moving real quick,
Right. Yeah.
So I just wish I'd just found a way to stay in the stuff that's in play long enough to get to
Because I remember there was like a period of time there where I'd be like, dude, why are you not in this name?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, the tape's too fast. I'm like, but this is where you need to be.
Yeah.
Because that's fast tape means fast moves means faster money.
Yep.
But you've completely adapted and figured it out. So
thank you.
Props.
Yeah. We got there. My G. And then I'll say I'll ask one more question from Biggie Small Caps because he's got a couple here. We won't ask them all, but I'll ask a couple. So he goes, what's your lucky charm? / morning mantra. What's your lucky charm, Nick? Oh, wait, let me guess.
Not suitable for work.
Morning wank. Is that it?
Yeah. No. No, for a bit there, like I had like I had to wear certain underpants and like the same clothes and shit like that. But yeah, I don't really have that anymore.
Yeah, I think you wore was it the same shirt through 1 August?
Yeah, I wore the shirts in there.
Is it? Yeah. Has it been washed since?
No bueno.
No bueno. Yeah. I know the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many days in a row do you reckon?
Like I'd wash it every week.
No, don't. Hey, you don't got to lie to the people at home, okay?
No, I mean, it's still pretty disgusting that I'm wearing a shirt 5 days in a row without washing it, but that's what I did.
Right, you wash it every week, yeah.
Yeah. And now it's just in tatters, basically.
And was it a good month?
I don't know. I mean, it was more than a month, I'd say. It's
right.
Like fucking 6 months.
Jesus, 2 years, yeah. Okay, my man. All right. So, Payman, Peiman says, okay, I'm embarrassed to ask this question, but hell, I know nothing. How do I short a stock? On which platform?
You don't.
No, you don't.
No.
Have you not been listening? We just buy them. Okay, they're only going up. Save your money. He said, I understand this can't be done on CommSec. Okay, this is a really simple one for everyone at home. You short them using
CFD provider.
And so we use Iris Trader through, I use FP Markets to do that. Nick use Inverse to do that. But CommSec don't provide borrow there. So you need to go to a CFD provider.
You can do it through IG as well.
Right.
But yeah, I think their primary platform's market made.
Okay.
So the advantages of like an FP and an Invast is it's direct market access.
Yeah.
So that's key because your order is going straight to the market, not into the market maker's book.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
Wait, what's the difference between the market maker's book and the actual?
Just differences in liquidity. And so if you submit an order into the market made book, you're not going to see your order go in, like in Spark, for example.
Okay.
So weird helicopter. Yeah.
And does it change how you get what is it with your leverage?
What do you mean?
Like can get more on or?
Sometimes,
right.
But eventually, like if you start winning against a market maker, they're going to hedge you out. They're not going to take on your
more
risk.
Okay.
Yeah. So then they'll probably put you on like the DMA platform.
Right.
But yeah, like FP and Invast, they're all DMA CFD providers. So you're not trading against them. You're trading against the market.
Yeah, beautiful. So that's what you want to aim for. You want to aim for a DMA CFD provider.
Correct.
Copy. Okay. There we go. Answered. So James wants to know, what do you think are the 2 most important things to observe when learning to read the tape? What advice can you give for someone wanting to be a tape junkie? 2 most important things to observe when learning to read the tape.
2. So I guess where the volume is being done. Is it being done on the bid or is it being done on the offer? How much volume? Order age is another thing.
Yeah.
So on Spark, you can adjust order age based on how long the order's been sitting in the book. So the logic behind it is if something's in there for a longer period of time, it's probably a more passive trader. If it's fresh, i.e. placed in the last couple of minutes, like they're probably at the screen watching. So there are a few things. I have
a really cool graphic. I think you might have sent it to me at one point.
Bellas?
Yeah, the Bellas. Yeah. I have a really cool graphic that
Maybe
I'll either put the graphic here. I'll put it. I'll allow you to look at it in some way, but it basically just shows what you're looking for when you're tape reading. Bid stepping up, offer stepping down, and it shows you on which side of the book you kind of want to be playing, depending on what's happening.
Other things, and I think you covered this the other day, but is the bid more thick than the offer?
Yeah.
You want to be in stuff, if you're long, where there's plenty of liquidity on the bid and steps below, and it's thin above.
Yeah.
So they're all like different dynamics of the tape, I guess.
Yeah. And then, okay, well, that's a fair few tape junkie things.
Yeah.
If you want to get in there. So we'll keep going along. We've got the Zeal Seal. Your podcast, he mentions being humble and avoiding arrogance is key to longevity. Is it hard for a 30-year-old banterous lad to avoid these traps? Nick?
I feel like that's a personality case by case thing, right? Like, like you're either humble or you're not.
Yeah, I don't think that really changes.
Yeah,
because
depends on what your disposition is, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. That's just a human being thing. But I think you could. I mean, look, you could easily, depending on what you do and who you are and what success you see, you can always find those traps for sure.
Yeah.
I think it just comes down to who you keep around you.
Yeah. And also, like, everyone's going to, have these ego moments, right?
Yeah, you're not going to fucking nail it every time, but...
Yeah, but also, like, for example, the Roo trade the other day, right?
Yeah.
Like, boom, the arrogance got out of its box kind of thing. And then you just have to work to put it back in the box. And only you can answer those questions and figure out how to do that because it's psychological.
Yep. Well, I think in that scenario, let's just use the Roo scenario. Yeah. I got a feeling that you would have turned to people that you trusted and gone, hey, this is what's going on. And then kind of like gotten a little bit of feedback and then kind of analyzed it yourself. So it wasn't just like you let it happen and then just kind of like either tried to move on or forgot about it. You actually went through a process of like, all right, this is wrong.
Diagnosis.
Yeah, you diagnosed it. Yeah, you figured out and then how to move forward from that. Like it wasn't just, because I think you could easily just, fucking, whatever. It's the market's fault.
Yeah.
And then gone for that again the next day.
Yeah. I think I made 3 phone calls after it.
Yeah.
I called you twice, called Bryce once.
Yeah.
And just
diagnosed
some shit.
Yeah.
And then kind of just moved past.
Yeah. And I think, so I feel like having people around you that you can like lean on to make sure, like just to kind of like, in a sense, be your safe. What were those guards that run along highways?
Safety rail.
Safety rail. Yeah, just be your safety rail to a certain extent.
Bowling alley.
Yeah. What are those called?
Bumpers.
Yeah. You need. No, that's not a good name for keep a bunch of bumpers around you.
Yeah, that's pretty shit.
I ain't calling you a bumper.
Yeah.
No. All right, the Zeal Seal. All right, let's move it on. I've watched you both scale down when things aren't going your way. Sorry, this is from Brad Unger Brad, at Unger Brad. I've watched you both scale down when things aren't going your way. How do you approach the process of scaling back up from an emotional perspective?
Scaling back up? Well, I think it's just like you just build confidence, right? So if you have confidence in what you do on small size, then you're just naturally going to feel like getting back to that previous size.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'll just as an example, Brad, I'll tell you about like all throughout November, I was basically trading on, like I'd gone back to trading like 5,000, maybe even lower than that in certain stocks, but I was like not trading a lot of size. I was I went back down to like
also because you drew down, right? So
I drew down, confidence down. I had to get a bit smaller because of that, but I did that for long enough to the point where I started to build a bit of consistency, started to build the win rate, started to build the P&L back up. And then after 3 weeks of doing that kind of thing, I got to the point where, in the last couple of days, I've traded much bigger size. Like on MSB the other day, I got up to like 32,000 units, which for me is like quite big in that stock. After, doing the 5,000 lots for about 3 odd weeks. So I don't think there's no magical cure. It's like refine it, take it back to the lowest hanging fruit, get that right for as long as you can until you build the confidence back up, and then reintroduce the size slowly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is slightly unrelated, but when you were trading from here the other day with the PAR short, like 2 months ago, you probably would have done that and then gone and done something stupid and turned a $244 loss into a $1.5 grand loss or something like that. And
I
then
would have found a way to,
you wreck your confidence, right?
Yeah.
And then just keeping that loss small the next, 2 days?
Yep, 2 days smashed
crushed it.
Yeah.
That's why it's just so key to keep that mental capital in check.
Yeah,
like that's been the biggest thing for me, I think, this year.
Taking that, So I think...
and that was actually one of the things I spoke to you about on the Roo trade. I can't remember if we covered it in the podcast, but just like I felt like it was a backward step because I
we kind of did because you thought you toasted all your mental capital.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So Perth trader, do you trade with the 15-minute ASX delay, or does CFDs allow real time? Okay, let's be honest here, Perth trader. No, we don't trade with a 15-minute delay. Real time, direct to market access, so it's all real time. It'd be a little bit.
So just get Spark if you want to get live access.
Yeah.
Or you can pay I think $20 to get live data through Iris. But yeah, I mean I use Spark. If I had to choose between using Spark and losing my leg, I'd happily lose the leg.
Take the leg.
Yeah,
100%.
Don't take Spark.
No, don't take my baby. Okay, so here we got one from LJC 101,
aka Liam.
AKA Liam.
That almost looks like a Longhorn.
Yeah, watch out. Hook 'em. So Liam says, hey, Sav, got a question specifically for Nick. Which Nick? This Nick. I'm all set to be moving over to the US on exchange next year with uni, and I was just wondering if you could outline how you transition to trading over there during the night, and generally how to get the most out of the exchange.
How to get the most out of exchange? I mean, that depends on what kind of person you are. Like, I guess, participate in as many, college
Social
things as you can.
Yeah.
I got lucky. Like, one of my good mates, he was in a fraternity, and like we got close pretty quickly. So he sort of helped that experience. So you just find one friend, and then your social circle will just kind of build from there.
Yeah.
If you're into sport, like there's
hectic
huge sporting culture in the US. So it depends, obviously, what college you go to. But
what was the story about? Was it Migos played at like some just regular ass
fraternity party? Yeah, and ASAP Ferg. Like,
oh my god.
It's so at University of Texas, they have this, it's called Roundup Week.
Yeah.
And basically the fraternities, like all of them put on the biggest party that they can.
Yeah.
So there was like, they pretty much pay like $40,000 to these artists. So Migos, ASAP Ferg, Major Lazer, Soulja Boy, and they're just playing in like these small settings.
Jesus.
So it's pretty lit. There's actually a video on YouTube of that party.
Of that show?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's called, I think Get Schmacked, maybe.
Yeah.
And it kind of just like goes to different colleges and shows the parties. Yeah. Hit me up in the DM, Liam. I'd be interested to know what college you're going to. But back onto that, the question. It's tough. Like the time difference is shit.
Yeah. What is it? What time are you starting? Like midnight or something? Or
no. I was wrapping up at depending on daylight savings, but either 11 p.m. or 1 a.m.
Right.
But the problem is, it's like I find it difficult to then just switch off.
Yeah.
So like I'd find myself going to bed at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I couldn't like.
Oh, your brain's just.
You're just like.
Over. Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you change your sleep schedule?
No, not really. Like, because I guess the advice would be try and avoid morning classes if you can. Because I think I had a few like 8 a.m. starts, and they were just rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like wake up late, and then I'd have to ride the bike to school. And,
Yeah. Right.
So, but yeah, I would highly recommend Exchange. It's a great experience.
Yeah. That'd be dope.
You make lifelong friends.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go down to here we go. We've got Joshua, Chief Visionary Investment Officer Baker, and he would like to know. He would like to know between the two of you, who is the lion and who is the mouse? Let's break this down.
What do you reckon?
I guess it depends on context and setting.
And setting.
Set and setting.
I mean, you're lion of rap.
I'm lion of rap, but but you were almost line of rap at one point as well.
Back in when I was like fucking 19.
Yeah, but you had a little
bars.
dabble.
Yeah,
we have some songs out in the world somewhere.
Just one, right?
Yeah, just one. Yeah.
When was that? Like that 10 years ago, more or less.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's up, G?
Yeah, what's up, G? Oh, we've got to shout out our boy.
Yeah, what's up, G?
Sub G, Baghdad, this for you, baby.
We fixed.
Sub G.
Sub G.
So yeah, that was for you, Baghdad. But yeah, I would say we both have some mouse in us.
Oh, there's definitely a bit of mouse.
But we both have some line in us as well. So we like to keep it nice and balanced. In the last video, we saw Zone It. Our boy Zone It 6, the master. We saw in the last video, Longhorn Capital attempting to keep the beers cold, but we did not see the mechanism he was using to keep the beers cold. Was there an esky or something? If so, what type? Big question.
It was just like one of those cooler bags, really.
Nothing cooler bag.
Too high tech, I think. Well, we had some. I only have like one cooler brick, ice brick or whatever.
Yeah.
So we had to get some broccoli.
Yeah, some broccoli.
And some fish fillets.
Yeah.
To keep the beers cold.
Keep them motherfuckers cold.
Yeah.
But we did that and they were cold. And we're back with the Pure Blondes again this morning.
Hey man, just pretend it's like 12 so I don't look like a freak.
No, it's yeah. I'm happy to admit that I'm having a beer right now. It's all good.
To be fair, it's 12:43.
Yeah, it's 12:43. That's normal. And we're on holiday kind of thing. Like.
Yeah. We definitely didn't crack them before 12.
So we've got Stephen G.
This is a good question.
Is it?
I think so.
Your passion is music, but with the flick of a switch, you understood tape so much better than others. Would you consider focusing full-time on trading as you have so much potential, not just trading the match and the environment you're in? And the environment you're in can offer a lot more for you than others. Would you consider focusing on?
Well, this is something I harp on to you about all the time, right?
Yeah, this is something that Fabrio, wants to kind of talk a lot about. I would say, no, not yet. I would say short answer, no, not yet. Purely because I haven't achieved with my music what I need to. It's like my soul would not feel comfortable. In my heart and my soul, I would not feel comfortable to be able to stop making music right now and focus full time on trading. Because at the end of the day, I got to think like, I got to live with, I'm the only one who has to live with myself for the next 40, 50 years. And unless I've quenched my thirst in terms of what I feel like I need to do on this planet. If once I've like, and it's not, I don't need to do big things. I just need, I feel like my soul needs to feel content with making good music and making a difference in the world in the way of music, And I feel like I have too much good music to put out. So until I've done that, no, I do understand that the tape reading thing, I've picked it up relatively well. And, I definitely have potential to, probably be a bit of a better trader than I am right now. And I don't not see me going there, just not yet. I think it's too important for me to fill my cup up in the sense of making music.
But I've always said like that's fine, but you should have a shot clock about what you want to achieve musically. Yeah. And then if you don't achieve it by X date, you set that date.
I have a loose date.
Right. Okay.
It's kind of 35.
35. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of
it's like 4 years.
Yeah.
Right.
I kind of feel like
can we get it down to like 33?
Are you trying to fucking negotiate with me here?
Yeah. Negotiate your clock down.
34.
34. Yeah. Right, meet in the middle.
All right, dope. No, I feel like there's a few years left in me before I'm never going to stop making music. Yeah. But in terms of like trying to just get
hobby versus profession is the thing, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a difficult fucking topic, but
it's a tough one.
I think it's a good question.
No, it's a good one, and it's it's definitely a good one. And I just don't think I'm there yet, but I know, who knows? Maybe soon. So here we go. We're gonna
thoughts on how high effects will go. No, I'm not gonna ramp for time.
Yeah, I'm just going to check how we're going for time, guys. Give me one moment.
We're probably going close to an hour.
You reckon?
Check.
Fabrio, say something interesting while I check the time.
I have nothing interesting to say.
Tell them how you feeling this morning.
A little bit dusty, but that's always the case. Oh, only 37 minutes. Is that right? Surprised. Do you want me to put like a timer on or something?
No, I think that's fine. I think we'll just,
Maybe 20 more minutes.
Yeah, we'll say 20 more minutes. We'll say maybe like maybe 1:15. We'll keep talking to. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll turn this off one second. Would you rather fend off 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
So this one comes from my boy Tom. Tom 624359556. And he wants to know, would you rather fend off 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
Just trying to think how big the beak would be on the horse-sized duck, because that could probably do some damage. Like
yeah. I'd probably take on the
head.
I'd probably take on the duck-sized horses, because I feel like I could maybe take 2 or 3 of them on at any given moment. And if I'm using my evasion skills and my defensive footwork really like neatly, I could probably take on 2 or 3 at a time. So you take on 2 or 3 at a time. You know, you might take 30 seconds to a minute to put them down. That's, maybe half an hour of fighting. Jeez, maybe that's too long.
It's a lot of fucking
it's a lot of
slap happy.
Slapping them ducks around.
You can answer the next one.
All right. So it says, Tom has said, could you please run us through your morning process of finding stocks in play, just the fundamentals, maybe the top 3 indicators of a stock in play. So Tom, I did go over this a little bit in the last 2. I've touched on them, but I'll kind of touch on some of that other stuff again. So my first priority is to find something that has a strong catalyst. And by a strong catalyst, I mean...
Web.
Web. Is it web? Then I'm trading it. Okay, that's as simple as it is. No, I think, I want something that has news, right? That's my first priority, or it's in a sector that's in play. So buy now, pay later stuff went crazy yesterday. So I'm thinking about, obviously they were later in the day, but that's just an example. So I'm thinking news or sectors in play, or I don't know, maybe there's another macro catalyst that could drive something. So
the thing is, these sector moves will usually happen for more than just one day, right?
Exactly.
So you kind of end up going back to the same well, if you like.
Yeah, well. So if it's like a sector thing, then I'm generally trading it for more than one day in a row. If the sector's down, then I'm like, for example, if the travel sector's down, then I'm just going to short web 3 days in a row, not even thinking about it. But anyway, so I'm thinking about a strong catalyst first. Then when it comes to finding specifically what ones I'm going to trade, I like to think about denomination. So I try to trade within like the $1 to $10 denomination range. So anything outside of that, or maybe 50 cents to $10. So anything outside of that, I'm kind of ruling out as I start to narrow my focus. Then I kind of look.
You got the most edge there, right? So
yeah. So I kind of
stick to.
Yeah. So I like those ones because they have thicker order books and they're just a little bit easier to read. They're not moving as quick generally.
Probably less algos.
Less algos.
More liquidity.
Yeah.
Liquidity.
Liquidity. What's liquidity?
What's liquidity?
No, liquidity.
Like, so for example, people are showing their size on screen
right.
like, say, for example, an algo which is showing like 200 shares.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, that's cool. I didn't. Lit, is that a term? Like showing size?
You're a rapper, you should know lit.
Lit. No, but is lit a trading term?
Yeah. Like there's a lit market and then there's dark pools. And,
right. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. So yeah, so fun.
Just means visible.
Visible. Yeah. Cool. I'm with you. So yeah, we got catalyst. Then I got the denomination, which kind of helps me narrow, and then I look for. Then I kind of look at the order book. That's when I kind of start to zone in on the order book. Now the depth, the level 2, they're all the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of start to spend a lot of my time studying it. Looking at looking at where the volume is kind of moving in. Are there fresh buyers? Are there fresh sellers? Is there support behind where I plan to either buy or sell? So if I'm buying something at $5, for example, it's matching at $5. Is there bid stacked up behind it that I can instantly get out at if the trade doesn't go my way? And vice versa. is vice versa? Yeah, vice versa. If I'm shorting something at $5, are there offers stacked up behind it that I can get out at? So I'm looking at the order book and I'm determining, how strong does this look? Then I start to look at the surplus. Is it surplus bid or offered? If it's surplus bid and I'm buying, then it's obviously more encouraging. Are the buyers or sellers fresh? Is the offer thin or is the bid thin, depending on which way you're going? So I start to kind of like just build a picture of what I like and I think there's a few there.
Pretty comprehensive.
Yeah. Cool. So there's a few in there. So we're gonna probably cross over to my DMs now. Sorry we didn't get to everybody on the tweet.
Should we have a quick look, see if there are any other good questions?
Yeah, we'll have a
quick look.
Yeah, we'll have a quick look. We might do one more. Yeah, good call.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. But I mean, I'll always day trade.
I think we'll have a look at this James Wayne question. You reckon?
Sure.
And then we'll whack a bit of James Wayne on, and then we'll cook capital. So we're gonna answer this one here. So, question is, how do you deal with so many stocks opening at once at 10 a.m.? Don't you find it very difficult to read tape on more than one stock, especially on the open? Do you have Spark set up a special way so that you can monitor multiple positions at once?
You can answer.
Yeah. So the way that I do it, obviously with the ASX opening in 5 separate groups, alphabetically from A, B, C, D, E, F, and then so on and so forth, opening in 2-minute segments. It makes it a little bit easier to manage in terms of the fact that you can trade something in group 1, then when the next group opens, you can trade that, and then so on and so forth. So you can essentially be kind of watching all 5 groups as they open individually.
It's like 5 opens or like 5
You get 5 mini opens, right? Yeah. Every morning.
The ASX are trying to change that and for everything to just go at 10.
Yeah, when are they thinking about?
I don't know. Yeah. Like their last update was a complete fail, so hopefully now.
All right. Hopefully they don't get around to that because that would be annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the way that I kind of have it set up is in Spark, I have so at any one time on the screen, I will have 2 stocks. Okay, I'll have the chart up the top, then I'll have the depth down the bottom. So I will have that for one stock, okay, in one of the slots down the bottom on Spark. And I will have 20 stocks in total, but 10 different slots. Does that make sense? So in each group, I will watch 4 stocks open. So for example, I will have ADT BWX. That'll be my first slot down here, okay? Then in the second slot, it'll be like BOQ BEN, okay? So I'll have 4 set up, and that'll be group 1, okay? Then I'll have another 4 set up, and I'll just go along for each group. And then it'll be like CDA, fucking EOS, and then EML, FMG, okay? That'll be group 2. So the way I have it set up is so I can watch at least 4 stocks in each group every morning as that group opens. The way that I'm able to pay attention to more than one stock, well, the thing is I'm not. I'm in every single group, I'm probably watching at least one really closely. I might have
and you're probably not taking 2 trades in the same group.
Yeah, you're never taking
often.
You're never really taking 2 trades in the one group. So I've got my eye cemented on one, and then I've kind of got a gentle eye on a second one. Okay. And then if nothing works in group 1, I'll just move on to group 2, and then I'll start to kind of like observe the one that I'm most focused on in that group. So that's kind of how I have my Spark set up. If that doesn't really make sense, James, just DM me and I'll explain it in more detail.
Also, I think as far as like monitors, like I started with 2.
Yeah.
And then just like added 1 and then added another.
Yeah.
And like it
how many up to now? Like 30 monitors or something?
No, just
6. Okay.
But yeah, like, and you just want to like gradually gradually add a monitor. So it's, it's a bit like going to the gym, which I don't do.
Yeah.
And and adding weight,
Yeah, you're not just going to start bench pressing 200 kg straight out the gate.
Yeah. You start at 10.
Yeah. And
probably more.
If you're someone like me, you stay on 10.
Yeah. So, you just add more and then your brain will just
start
get accustomed to
recalculating. Yeah. More information.
At all at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like a muscle thing, right?
Yeah. To be fair, like I traded, there was like one day at the beginning of November, I think, where I went back to like just one screen, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just because I had like some issues with setting some stuff up.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I think it's fine. You just focus. Because the thing is, you're just trying to narrow your range. You're always really trying to narrow your range.
Yeah.
Everything that you do is about carving.
Doing less.
Yeah. Like you start with a big funnel.
Yeah.
It's like marketing, right? Like you start with a big funnel, 100,000 people, and then slowly but surely you wriggle it down to the one thing that you're going to nail, right? Yeah. And it's the same with stocks. So like you have 2,000 odd stocks on the ASX. You could trade any one of them.
Yeah.
At any given time. But you don't want to do that. You want to trade the one that's going to be best for you on any given day. Okay?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's just a refining process. And the longer you trade, the more information you take in, generally you should get better at that refining process.
Yeah.
And when you figure out obviously what your best setups are, where you feel most comfortable, you will kind of like slowly but surely refine it so that you know exactly what you're looking for every single day.
Yeah.
And that's a totally, that's a skill in itself, is to just like refine that process and get closer to what you need to be trading and what you need to be in. Yeah. So I reckon we'll jump over to the DMs. We'll slide into our own DMs and we'll see what's happening over there. I think there'll be a little bit of action.
Let's see.
Let's have a look.
Only one way to find out.
Here we go.
Favorite trade you've ever done? Up. No, higher. Zonert again, but do you have a favorite trade you've ever done? I know you have a favorite stock, which is either Web or Zip.
So Zonert wants to know favorite trade you've ever done. Yeah, obviously favorite stock is Web. Favorite trade I've ever done. I think the favorite trade that I've ever done was the what was it? CPU, computer share.
When did you trade that?
I think we both traded it in the same day.
Yeah,
was it CPU? It was kind of it ramped, and I started shorting it, and it kept going higher. I think you had like this is this year, like 6 months ago. You had like, I'm pretty sure you had 8,000 units short, and it was.
No, you're thinking WiseTech.
Well, it was WiseTech. Yeah, you remember the one I'm talking about? Yeah. Well, it just fucking. What happened? Was that there wasn't news? It just kind
started stonking.
Started stonking. And then I didn't know that you were trading it at the same time.
Yeah.
So I started hitting it. I can't remember the levels, but it was the first time that I had stepped out of like my comfort zone in a real way.
Yeah.
Because I think at that point I was still
one. It's like not the denomination you should be trading, right?
Yeah. So not the denomination. Like it's a bit exotic, like fading the rip. Like it's not something that I've done a lot of, any of. Yep. So it was very exotic. It wasn't the right denomination. I got fairly big. I had 4,000 units, which like for something that thin was like quite large.
Yeah.
And it went against me like real hard. Yeah. And real hard. And
not as hard as what was the one that you got?
PBH.
PBH, yeah. That was stupid.
But that wasn't my favorite trade.
Yeah.
That was my least favorite trade. But this WiseTech, I think I was in the hole for like 4, maybe 5K or something. It was ripping pretty hard. I was stressing.
I think I was
you
blown out.
You were doubling.
I think I probably added more.
Yeah, and that's the thing I did. I added as it went up.
Right.
So I was like, and it was kind of like,
that's never fun front side.
No, it's never fun.
To a loser.
It's never fun. But I thought that it was bound to run out.
Well, it was completely vertical, right?
Yeah, it was completely vertical.
Literally just went.
Yep. And so
midday.
The thing, like there was no reason for it to be up that much. So the reason it was my favorite trade is because one, I just stepped out of my comfort zone. I saw an opportunity and I didn't hesitate.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing the right thing. It was scary as fuck, but I just kind of like, I just stayed solid and I didn't let the moment get ahead of me.
Just kept your composure.
I kept my composure. I kept my composure, and I ended up. I think I might have pulled like
$3,000. Or
yeah, $3,000 out of it. Yeah. So it ended up being a winner. It was scary, but it was a big learning moment, and it was just the first time that I felt like a bit of a man.
Yeah,
you know, so it was good.
I reckon mine was probably both the split it short and the brain chip short. Like when I think split it was like $1.70 maybe, and it mooned in the day and it just kind of consolidated, and there was this big wall at 70, and then that got, or maybe it was 80.
Oh, are you talking about the day that we traded it all day?
Possibly.
And the 170 dropped later in the day?
2:30 p.m.
Yeah.
capitulation.
Yeah.
Like cracked into 140.
I remember that 170 as well.
And also I think it was brain chip, was like the exact same setup.
Yeah.
And then I jumped
you get on the Uber. Yeah.
just to hold.
Yeah.
So
that was perfect.
Yeah.
Which one would you pick?
Probably the brain chip.
Yeah.
Because it was just like I'd seen this before.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I also kind of called it real time before it happened as well.
Yeah,
so that was cool.
Yeah.
A little
pat on the back.
Yeah, a bit slap happy.
I'll give you a little pat. Hey, come here. I'll give you a little pat on the back.
Cheers, bro. Thanks, G.
Thanks, G. What's up, G?
Can Fabrio rap?
Oh, that's funny. Yes, he can.
Better than you.
No, he's got some fucking bars.
Mouse.
Fabo got some bars, and so maybe we'll get to hear him one day if he ever steps out of his fucking
probably not
little shell. But yeah, that was let's jump here. We'll go down to Sriracha FX. Let's have a look at what Santo has to say. Oh Jesus, this is a big one. Question for you and Nick, if it's relative to the topic. FOMO is created due to our emotions. Right? With AI, machine learning, and computers getting smarter and smarter, do you guys feel that FOMO creeps in more each year because there may be a stage where retail traders and reading the tape is completely taken over by AI with no gaps for us to take advantage? Or do you guys believe that no matter where we are, there will always be human intervention for retailers to find an edge?
I think there's always going to be humans in the market. So, and you know, there's plenty of ways you can take advantage of algos as well.
Yeah.
I think the key is just adapting.
Yeah.
You know, shit's going to change.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting a live question here.
He's
read our minds.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about that. It might be naive. I don't know.
Yeah.
He said to ignore it. Well, too late.
Too late. Sorry, Santo.
All right. Next one.
Yep.
I don't know if we answered that correctly. But
no, well, okay, you know, I think it's fair. Like, I'm not scared of it. I'm just worried about now.
Yeah, you can only control what you can control, right?
Yeah, exactly right. If it fucking happens, like, let's just say we get to that point, they're probably running everything. So it's like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
We're all in the same boat if that's the case.
Yeah. I remember I always used to sketch, like, when I was first starting out, like, the match trade's gone.
It'll never go, yeah.
Yeah, or don't tell anyone. It's a huge secret. But, like, you just figure out new ways to make money, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. All right, let's have a look at another question here. So, ASX Hunter 6, Justin. Question for the potty, if I may. Biggest way to help improve and overcome trading mistakes? Know that post-match trades are bad and shouldn't take them, but do it anyway, or don't overtrade on winning days, but do on losing days, for example. All right. So his examples were overtrading on winning days, or don't overtrade on winning days, but do on. Okay, yeah. So he doesn't overtrade on winning days, but he does on losing days, which I think that's fine to not overtrade on winning days. But yeah, I wouldn't be overtrading on losing days for sure.
But I think that's only something you've recently figured out.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not.
If you're running bad, and it's the same for everyone.
Yeah.
Just like start scrambling around.
Yeah. Get amongst
compounding the issue.
And to be fair, yesterday was a winning day, but I wouldn't say overtraded, but I definitely
scrapped for it.
Yeah, I definitely kept. I stayed in the mix. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I was being about it. You know, I was fine. I saw opportunities and I kept fucking taking them.
Yeah.
But that wasn't really a mistake because I knew that there was the tape was there for me to fucking get amongst it.
Yeah. I think the key is like just make sure that you're trading something in your playbook, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not over trading if there's 20 setups in one day.
Oh, absolutely.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're going outside of something you feel comfortable doing, right? Let's just say it that. Like it, you know, it could be a playbook trade, but I think if you're going outside of something that you've done before or that you feel comfortable doing or that you know you kind of have some edge in, right? If you're going outside of that, then it's over trading.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's the first trade or the 100th.
Yeah.
It's over trading straight away. So
stick to your edge.
Yeah, stick to your edge. Just absolutely stick to your edge. And the way that you overcome that,
just time, practice.
Time, practice, but also I think accountability. Like you need to have things in place to keep yourself accountable, whether that's a journal, whether that's a personal diary, whether that's a routine, whether that's a conversation that you have with someone regularly, whether that's a group of people that you talk to on a daily basis. There needs to be stuff that you use, right? Because you can't just be this guy who fucking walks through life, you know, oh, I'm gonna figure out everything and I'm gonna be sweet all the time. And that's ego, because you're gonna fuck up and you're not gonna realize you're fucking up. So use tools. Like we have tools for a reason. Humans have tools for a reason.
Yeah.
Use them to keep yourself in check, whether that's friends, chats, mentors, daily review process,
dog,
whatever, your dog, what's up, G? Whatever that is. Use tools to keep yourself in check. Yeah.
Cool.
Dominic Green 23. Hey, mate, love the podcast. Got a question for you and Nick. For a new beginner, what is the best way to get started and up to scratch to start day trading effectively? For someone that doesn't know a successful day trader to get regular advice from, it would be good to get both of your opinions on how to self-start.
Yeah, I feel like these questions, that's a tough question, right? Because like we only know what we know.
We know,
that, you know, I had Bryce as a mentor and you had me. Hard to say, you know, what I would do in a different circumstance.
Yeah, because you don't want to like speculate and then lead someone down a path that fucking, you know, ends in misery.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've just had a go at that thing that you said and now I've toasted 20K and...
Yeah. I think, the advice would be, and I think I said this on the Chat with Traders pod, don't pay per trade. Make sure you have real money because, that matters in terms of like managing emotions and whatnot when you actually have real money at risk.
Yeah.
And just start small. And try and scale up as quick as you can though, because you don't want to overthink the process of getting bigger.
Yeah.
That was one thing that I did well, and it probably had nothing to do with Bryce. It was just like me pushing myself to constantly get bigger as quick as I could and not think about it so much.
Yeah.
Just do it. Don't get intimidated by the sizing up.
Do you think there was anything in your personality as an individual or your background that led you to that? Because I don't think that's a natural way to think or feel comfortable. You know, I don't think naturally people are like, oh, no, I can get this size on or risk on.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably has something to do with like gambling.
Yeah.
I think gambling is a good trait to have like as a trader, but it's not gambling in the sense that you know, flipping a coin kind of thing, but just the ability to put on risk when you see an opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that's something that you either have or you don't.
Yeah.
And not being afraid of taking risk.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep.
I don't know if that answers the question.
No.
And that's why, like, you know, when I hit you up, I was like, I think you'd be good for these reasons.
Yeah.
Like seeing you play poker.
This guy's good at toasting money.
Yeah.
Let me give him some of mine.
Yeah. Just put it on the Weber.
See how quick he can lose it. But in terms of like trading, like starting effectively, just start small. Really narrow your range in terms of what, you know, where you're getting advice from. Like, don't try and do everything. Just like start with one particular thing, and
which
then
for us was the match trade.
Yes,
and also on that point, like I had when I first started, I would try and keep it as robotic as possible. It was like, okay, either this is a A+ setup, and I'll be going for $50 a tick, or it's a B- setup, and I'll be doing $25 a tick.
Yeah.
So they were the only two decision factors, I guess.
Yeah.
As to what I do. So it's like, okay, yep, this is good. That's 50.
Am I totally in love with this, or do I just kind of like
but
it?
it's takeable, so 25.
Yeah.
And then basically I'll just adjust those up.
Yeah.
So, 2 weeks later, okay, 150.
Yep.
150.
Yep.
And then 200, 100.
Yep.
And then you just keep going from there.
Yeah.
That's what I did anyway.
Yep. No, I like that. Yeah, and I think I think you want to come one asset that I had when I started was the fact that I was such a blank slate and I was very malleable to what needed to happen for me to be successful.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important trait. Like, I don't think if you don't have a background in trading and you come into trading and want to learn how to trade, you need to not bring your preconceived ideas and your, someone said this, or you read a fucking blog piece one time, or your mate that you used to work with said this, or, you need to come and you need to be ready to be totally dumb again and just learn everything from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more, or do you reckon that'll do?
I reckon we do one more.
One more.
We'll do one more. Yeah, I don't mind this. So this is Intrepid Trader. This will be the last question, and then we're going to probably wrap it up. Slap it up. Now, we'll do the slapping a bit later. So he says, hey, mate, loving the podcast. Q for you both. Q, is that a court? Is that a weed reference? Oh, no, question. I get it. So he said, question for you both. What's a demon/bad habit that you struggled with in trading, and how did you go about breaking it? You want to go first?
Oh, I mean, mine is just fading shit too early.
Yeah.
Being front side. Yeah. How did I go about breaking it? Like, I'm always going to take those trades, but like now I'm just like kind of trying to pull that out of the repertoire, so to speak. Like, there are some trades that are just, it's going to be too irresistible to not go back to that. But yeah, I think for the most
like the
part,
FMG, I think. Oh no, but that was more.
That wasn't fading.
That wasn't the same. No, I was just like,
yeah, I'm just trying to do less of that and more of going with the flow.
Yeah, I think that's the main point right there. Just going with the flow, not fighting it.
Yeah,
not trying to second guess the market. If something's up, it's probably up for a reason. You really only want to be fading if it's really, really, really far up for no reason.
Yeah,
yeah,
and vertical from
it's vertical. Well. Yeah, it's not just like a gradual grind.
Yeah,
and then above.
That fast.
Yeah.
What about you?
In terms of a demon/bad habit that I've struggled with, I think I'll probably mention two. So
self-destructive.
Yeah, I've got this self-destructive streak in me, like a bit of a gambling streak in me. When I get on when I start poorly, like I can get a little bit get a bit messy with me entries.
And the thing is, I can always tell when it's happening, right? Like, more or less.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but
just like Sav, you probably want to stop now.
Sav, you should probably get fuck off.
$500, and then I look again like 30 minutes, and you're down
it's like
$2,000.
Yeah, so I definitely have.
Say I told you so.
Yeah. I mean, it happens, but I do have that self-destructive kind of streak in me. If I start poorly, I can get a bit too frazzled and try to claw it back and jump into stuff unnecessarily.
That came, you had that in poker as well. I feel like you'd grind, and then lose
one
your
session,
mind, and then
yeah. I could have one session that I would lose everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do I don't know if I've broken that. I think the way that I try to beat it is I just be really regimented with the way that I'm approaching things at the moment, and I'm having, as I said, I'm using these tools. I'm using either conversations with Nick. I'm using a daily review process where I kind of, I talk about my day of trading, and I just have a really strict rules in terms of like, just trading the match and being very specific about what I'm doing. So I'm just kind of taking it back to what I know I can do well in order to avoid some of those things. I don't know if they'll ever fully disappear, but the other one I would say is I have this ability to just kind of get real lax after I've done well for a little bit.
Right.
Like, I'll do well for a couple of weeks, and then I'll take the foot off the pedal because I feel like, I've achieved something.
Right.
But
I get a bit ahead of yourself.
I get a bit ahead of myself. Yeah. I feel like, I've done all the work now,
Stop doing report cards.
Yeah, stop doing report cards. You know, I'll spend a little bit more money here and there. Like I'll drink a little bit extra, and then I'll do the damage, and then I'll be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Now I need to, kind of go back to that grind. I need to find a way to just stay in that grind for longer.
Or to snap out of, like, if you get lax, notice it and then snap out of it quicker.
Yeah. So it's either, it's one of the two. It's like stay in the grind longer, and then when I realize that I've let go of that mentality, find a way to get out of it quicker, get back into the grind.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually think that is something that I am improving on. I used to have like week-long bouts of, lacking in effort and non-committedness and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They probably still kind of happen, but I definitely don't think it's for as long.
Right.
I might have like a day or two where I'm like, being a shit cunt. Yeah.
Dropping
speaking of
C words on the podcast.
Yeah, dropping C words.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's where we've got to. Sorry, mama. But I think we'll wrap it up.
Slap it up.
Yeah, we'll slap it up. There's been a nice little Q&A session with my boy Longhorn Capital.
I feel like this one went a bit better than the last one.
A lot
I'm
smoother.
actually talking into the mic.
Yeah, a lot smoother. And I think
also an easier format doing Q&A versus having to mentally think of things.
Yeah. And then because
use your brain.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's actually because when you're talking, I'm like, now I got to ask what to say next. Now I got to say something interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't listening.
Yeah. I'm still thinking about how I missed the web short this morning.
Yeah.
And it's like, as you're talking, I'm thinking about the listener like, oh, fuck, do I have to say something interesting now?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I hope I said something interesting.
Yeah.
So it's tough, man. I'm having a new appreciation for people who
make podcasts
and make like and interview people.
Yeah.
Because especially if you could do that shit on the fly, man, that's fucking tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mentally taxing.
It is mentally taxing. Yeah. Your powers of listening and deduction and introspection and empathy, they all have to be like firing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can totally get it because I'm like a little bit, stage like what's the word? Like shook. I'm a little bit shook. You know, just going like, oh shit, now I got to say something.
Yeah. And the more you think about it, you're like, fuck, I still haven't said anything.
I still haven't said it.
10 seconds of silence.
Yeah. I still haven't said. That's why I wrapped up the last one too quickly. I was like, I'm not saying anything interesting. Yeah. So
oh no, Instagram TV when no one watches this.
Yeah. Shut up. All right. So yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys. Yeah. Episode 10 of Slap Happy is now in the bank. Yes. And no, it feels pretty amazing, and it feels just good to everyone who's been tuning in and asking questions and sharing it and giving me their honest feedback. I really appreciate all of it. So yeah, thanks again, Nick, for coming in. Give me a little fist bump. Yeah, appreciate it.
All good, man.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
We will.
All right, sweet. All right, catch you later, guys. Thank you.